Welcome back to Sidra's Silly Point. I'm Sidra Arshad, and I rarely ask, but I would appreciate it if you were to like the video and subscribe to my channel. All right, congratulations to the Pakistan team on winning against Namibia. Before I even get into the actual match, the moment I saw the Pakistani lineup and saw that Abrar Ahmed was dropped and Shadab Khan and Babur Azam were retained, I was like, are you kidding me? The audacity, honestly. Abrar Ahmed, who is Pakistan's main frontline specialist spinner when it comes to white ball, had one bad day. I mean, the whole team had a despicable day against India. And let's face it, Pakistan had no preparations beside having Salman Agha bowl the first over. Other than that, there was no intent, there was no strategy, just absolutely pure mediocrity that followed. Nevertheless, how blatantly can you practice favoritism? I mean, Shadab Khan can have 1,000 bad days with the ball, with the bat, but he retains his spot and is always protected. And what's interesting is Shadab Khan himself in the post-match conference saying that everybody's after my one bad over against India. No, they're not. You have been consistently mediocre at best. But it's Abrar Ahmed who has dropped after one bad game. I mean, why wasn't he protected? Why wasn't he shielded against India when he was asked to complete his quota of overs if he was struggling, but not Shadab Khan after his one bad over? When against associate teams, Shadab Khan gets to complete his quota of 4 overs ahead of specialist bowlers. Why is it only about the confidence for senior players like Shadab Khan, Babur Azam, and Shaheen that need to be restored? What about the confidence of new players or inexperienced players? I mean, I feel like a broken record here, but you dropped Salman Mirza for the games against India and the US when he had a good outing and took 3 wickets against Netherlands, and again was effective today against Namibia. But you carried Shaheen Shah Afridi into the match against India, who had been expensive not just in the tournament, but in the Asia Cup and overall for quite some time. Against Namibia, you drop Shaheen finally, whether it's, due to the general public, his own ask, his father-in-law's advice. But Shadab Khan is untouchable regardless of his performance. The coach, the captain, are always backing him, and they provide him literally on a silver platter, gift him opportunities to better his performance. And when he doesn't, they hide him, protect him, and shield him so that his averages or, just the impact that he has isn't impacted. And there's always some type or another of an excuse. But if Abrar has a bad day, he doesn't deserve to be given an opportunity to regain his confidence before the Super 8s. Frankly, if it wasn't for the hype behind Usman Tariq, they wouldn't blink an eye dropping him too just to protect their favorites like Shadab Khan. This deadweight has taken up a well-deserved spot of a specialist spinner like Sufyan Muqim, and his average batting hasn't done anything worth mentioning in high-pressure games, and they lacked luster against the associate nations as well. Shadab Khan was sent ahead of Babur Azam, ahead of Usman Khan, ahead of Nawaz and Fahim at a time when, they needed 200-plus strike rate because they were looking to post a total of 200-plus. And if he is an all-rounder who's meant to be a power hitter, a slogger, he helps accelerate, then listen to this. Shadab used the first 11 deliveries, hitting no boundaries. And then his strike rate was around 110, and then he hit 2 sixes in the last over, taking him to 36 for 22. Now, in the game against the US, Babur was at 15 for 18 balls before he hit a 6 and 2 4s in an over, and then a couple of 4s in the over after that, ending up with 46 for 30 something balls. So the bottom line is these all-rounders aren't any better. And the audacity to bench specialists over them is akin to the current management and coach of Pakistan cricket. And as I said in my previous video, Shadab was selected right out of the hospital bed into the team with no domestic cricket under his belt. Oh, and was also given a central contract while he was, I think, still in the hospital. I could be wrong. And don't get me wrong, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that Babur should have been sent before Shadab Khan. In fact, the fact that they couldn't send Babur shows they made a huge error selecting him in the World Cup squad in the first place, because I think they assumed the openers or the top three won't survive, and then the team would need an anchor in the shape of Babar, who, by the way, had this situation tailor-made for him against India and didn't do squat. So one thing is clear: if 2 out of top 3 are able to make runs, sending in Babar to bat would be a disaster, because as we saw today, despite a nervy start and not making the most of the power play, Sahibzada Farhan stuck around and ended up scoring 100. Third player to do so in the World Cup, right behind Nisanka of Sri Lanka and Yuvraj Samra of Canada. Farhan had a slow start and did use up more deliveries for his first 50 runs that he scored. And then, of course, the dot ball ratio within the power play continues to be the case for him. But he did manage to stick out and then accelerate, and he scored the second 50 runs on 20-something deliveries. Saim Ayub, on the other hand, has lost his way when it comes to batting. And I would assume the coach and the captain are in a bit of a pickle, because he is performing well as a bowler, but is not able to do much with the bat, contributing these 14s, 20s, 15s, whatever, 5s runs, etc. And it's like the Asia Cup all over again, right? And then people, including the commentator Ramiz Raja, are now saying that Babar Azam should open in place of Saim Ayub, and Saim Ayub should be used as a floater. So Saim Ayub is now a floater. Usman Khaja has always been a floater. Shadab is a floater. Nawaz is a floater, who's also struggling in the field and dropped a dolly today. Faeem Ashram doesn't know if he'll be a floater, but he's a floater. And if it wasn't for his century today, then there were rumors that Farhan might be dropped in favor of Babar. So then he's also a floater. So who is going to bat in the top 6 or even 7 now? Everyone is a floater. Because we saw what these floaters could do against teams like India, and come Saturday against New Zealand, how will this collective bunch of floaters manage to post a defendable total or be able to chase down a total? And what is the purpose of selecting Fakhar Zaman in the squad? I mean, is he just in Sri Lanka for sightseeing? When will he get a chance, or will he just be thrown into play on Saturday with no real heads up, I guess? Like, the amount of cluelessness that is rampant in the Pakistani side, including the captain and the coach, the fact that they're still experimenting with the lineup in the middle of Pakistan qualifying for the Super 8s, the fact that Saim Ayub started as an opener, then turned into an all-rounder, then a bowling all-rounder, and now a mere floater, and Babar Azam, who is seen as a missing piece of puzzle in the Asia Cup, cannot play spin, cannot anchor, doesn't have a position to bat on because no one, including himself, trusts his batting. But the only thing that is crystal clear is that no matter what, Shadab Khan will play. That's the team in preparation to play against New Zealand on Saturday. And yes, Pakistan also has England in the group that they will play at some point after, who have also managed to crawl into the Super 8s, and Sri Lanka, who Pakistan has a good record against, but they are gelling and performing and clicking at the right time, and their graph is, basically going up with that incredible century by Nisanka. Everyone's really clicking at the right time. And Nisanka, by the way, didn't hit a single followed by a dot ball to reach his 100 against Australia the other night. Anyhow, one thing that Pakistani management did right in this game was, first of all, selecting Khwaja Nafi and then sending him into play at number 4 when acceleration needed to be continued. I mean, he scored a boundary and a single before getting out, and it looked like the captain and the coach had some verbal altercation as a result. Again, nothing against Nafi, but when you rotate and give 1 or 2 chances to your youngsters, it's hard to see them get the confidence to sustain the pressures. And then when you throw in the mix favoritism, then I can only imagine the pressure they are in going on the field. Over the last year or so, I mean, we saw Pakistan try Hassan Nawaz, Irfan Khan Niazi. I mean, in the spin bowling, there was Sufyan Maqim, Faisal Akram. In pace bowling, there was Wasim Jr., I think Shahadab, Abbas Afridi. None given proper chances or time except for Saim Ayub, who is the luckiest fellow. And of course, the same old set of senior players who are now featuring in their, third or fourth World Cup tournaments. And in my opinion, they should continue with Khaja Nafi or use him as a floater wherever they need to, because, well, yeah, that's how the coach and the captain of Pakistan thinks right now. So yeah, let him be a floater, but let him be in the team. And this might not be a popular opinion, but when Nafi was out, why wasn't Usman Khan sent ahead of Shadab, who played a better innings against India? I'm not a die-hard fan of Usman Khan, but frankly, he seems to have no real heavy value in the team in the first place. Because if they want, they send him at number 8, like they did against the US. And if they want, they don't even send him at all, despite facing the most deliveries in a pressure game against India, where everyone got out cross-hitting. So I get it. You need acceleration, and Usman Khan plays spin better, but does being in form mean anything to the coach and the captain? Like anything at all? Because I'm starting to wonder if Usman Tariq himself has asked to bowl a bit later when the ball is softer, because it's beyond comprehension why he was again asked to bowl much later, I think in the 11th or the 12th over today against Namibia. I mean, I understand that the game is not all about accelerating in the power play, and, good teams will look to capitalize and accelerate throughout the 20 overs. And maybe that's why Captain Agha and Coach Hassan want to have that ammunition throughout. But to see Shadab and Nawaz bowl ahead of him continuously and finish their quota again before Usman is a fact that's hard to swallow. Usman Tariq has now taken a wicket in the 25th consecutive match he's played. I mean, he was outstanding and pretty much unplayable for the Namibians, a double wicket maiden, and then another 2 wickets in its final over. But the mystery remains as to why he comes quite late and the opponent is given the chance to settle, or in the case like India, given the chance to take the game away completely. They have a lot to think about over the next 2 days before they face New Zealand, who is going to be a tough opponent for sure. I mean, not going to get opportunities because a side like New Zealand will not drop catches. They will not let you eat up 12 or 18 deliveries playing run a ball so that you can accelerate later. They're going to review all your videos of your performances in the World Cup thus far and make plans to get rid of your floaters in no time. So if we're going to continue seeing certain players get more protection than others, then you're just easy prey for the opponent. That's it for now. Ramadan Mubarak to those celebrating, and I shall see you in my next video. Until then, take care.